Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dylan Silver, and today on the show I have Andrea Lane out of New Jersey. Andrea is a seasoned real estate investor, coach, and co-founder of the Coast to Coast Real Estate Group. Andrea, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
Absolutely. I like to start at the top by asking folks, how did they get into the real estate space?
So I got into the real estate business more than 40 years ago. And I got in not because I understood real estate, because I knew houses and I knew what I was doing. I didn't know any of those. I also didn't have a network. I didn't know where to go to find people who were interested in the same thing I was. But here's what I knew. If you got into real estate and you had paper losses, you could take them against your income tax, and I could reduce my income taxes. That is why I got into real estate. And so I bought my first property. I bought it in the wrong location, got the wrong tenants. I over rehabbed it. I mean, if you can do something wrong in real estate, been there and done that. And I started real early. And I didn't have a network, which now I know is the most important thing to build your real estate business. So
Let's talk about starting. What were you doing at the time? I'm imagining you had some
oh,
other passions or career that were running parallel
yeah.
to real estate. What was
So
your life like at that point?
back then I worked, I was in technology. I was in technology my entire corporate career. I grew from a teller at a bank to running their wealth management technology bank. So I was always changing jobs. At the time, I always had something in the background because I'm I'm not good at doing nothing and being lazy. So I always had some side hustle. Um, and real estate was a good side hustle because it didn't take a lot of energy to keep the business rolling, right?
Right.
I now know it would have taken a little more upfront. I could have done it better, but it was easy to get into. And so I had real estate, and then I said, well, that's not enough because it's not busy enough. So I got another business. So I've always been an entrepreneur moving forward. It's just, like what I was doing at any given time. But my career at the company, I was there for 37 years. When I retired, I had to decide what I wanted to do. And I did not go full time into real estate, believe it or not. I became an organization person. I organized people's files and homes and offices. I did it all. And then my son came to me and said, I want to be in real estate. And so in 2015, we started a company. And this company now there's four people, his friends, Brooke and Danielle, William and myself, and we decided that we were going to do rehabs to make a lot of money so that we can buy rentals. And that's how we started. We did one rehab and decided that may not be our key way of making money. So, because we did it wrong, but we did it. And then we decided, rentals, which is what I thought anyway. So now we do both. So
So
yeah.
talking about this real estate journey, and it sounds like you're a serial entrepreneur, and then it's in the family too, multiple generations here. So talk about that rehab that you did with your son, and then realizing that the rentals were a better play for you, um, how did that rehab go? How did managing that rehab go? And what was ultimately the factors that made you decide, you know what, we're going to go to the rental space?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Well, we're in both. We still do rehabs, but we learned. So we decided we were going to rehab a house, and we came up with a plan. Our plan was really good. We knew what we were going to do. Three blocks from the ocean, so we could either sell it or hold it. Right. So we had two opportunities to begin with. We had a great plan. We were going in there. We had our specs. We had contractors come take a look at the property. So our numbers were in good shape. And we got into the deal, and the house was 100 years old.
Mm,
So we're opening the first floor and making it an open floor plan, and the house had radiators. So we took the walls down, and we're like, those radiators, they're really old fashioned. And, the walls we're putting up are going to have a good couple of inches between the radiator and the wall. So we're wasting space. So,
right.
so we were geniuses. We replaced the radiator. We put in all new ductwork. We got air conditioning and heating in the house, which wasn't in the plan. Um, and then we were looking outside, and we had plans to do landscaping, but we looked at the outside and we said, the house is brown, and brown really isn't a good color right now. We really should change it. Now, did we paint it? Oh no, we put on new siding, new soffits, new leaders, new gutters, new shades, no, not shades, the wall. Oh, I can't remember the name of them. The siding on the side of the windows.
Huh?
So we did it all. The house, I have to tell you, is beautiful. And I know it
Yeah.
is because it's 3 blocks from where I live. It is gorgeous. However, we went in with a budget and a time frame. And our budget, that siding and that heating system, we're not talking a couple of $1,000s. We're talking tens of thousands of dollars that we spent
Yeah,
on
it can
this
almost
house.
double. Yeah.
And the time frame, we were good. We thought we could do it in 9 months, but we made it a 12-month time frame just in case, because it was our first deal. No, 18 months later. And I
It's a
will
lot of
tell you,
holding. Yeah.
holding costs will kill you. So we were like, yeah, maybe this isn't for, wait, let me step back. A lot of the work, my team members, not me, were planning on doing themselves. I worked outside, so I knew I was doing the landscaping and I was okay with that, but I'm not picking up a hammer and doing anything, but they wanted to do some of it. So we learned a lot of lessons from that.
I
When we
can
do
imagine.
rehabs now, we hire contractors. Uh, and by the way, one of my partners now is a contractor, so he manages the contractors. Um, but we really decided that being in the rental space is going to give us the long term. So short term, we made money on that deal, by the way, but it was an accident. It wasn't because we were smart. It was because the market changed and the
Yeah.
market increased the value of the house. So we were lucky. And most real estate investors at some point are lucky. They should realize it's luck and not talent. So
That's
yeah.
that's a lot of fortuitous things, but also, you put yourself in that position to make that happen. Pivoting a bit here, Andrea, you mentioned after that going into the rental space, you still do rehabs, but going into the rental space.
Yeah.
I've spoken with so many avatars of real estate investor. People do short term, people do mid term, corporate housing. Of course, you have annual leases, 6 month leases. Which space are you in currently?
So we are in single, multi, and small apartments, but we are in the process of divesting ourselves of these small apartments and the larger multis. My my avatar for a home is a single family home with 3 bedrooms and 1.5 to 2 baths. That is the ideal, in my mind, rental property. Um,
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And the reason I'm dumbing down, where most people go into single families and then they want to be in apartments, they think it's great. Well, if you go in bigger apartment buildings, the 20 units you can usually handle on your own or with a partner. But when you go to larger apartment buildings, usually it's a syndication. Now,
Yeah.
I've created syndications. I know how expensive they are and what it takes to run them. Not interested. Um, and the people who live in single families, they tend to stay longer. They have kids, they go to the school, they like where they're at. And they also take better care of the property. Now, this isn't necessarily true in a large urban area like New York City. Most people live in apartments, but in most of the country, people live in houses and
Yeah.
they can't say their landlord isn't maintaining it. No, you're a slop, right? So you're the one responsible. So
Sure.
I love single family houses. Plus, I like owning as much ground as I can. They're not making any more, and I like to have it.
They
So,
are certainly not making any more. I'm curious what your feedback is on the short-term space. So I'm in Texas, and I think all over, but definitely out here, Airbnb is huge,
yeah.
huge. Um,
So
what's your perspective?
I personally am not interested in Airbnb. What I am interested in going into is shared housing, not group homes for people with problems, just people who need a place to live and don't want to spend the money on a full apartment or a full
Yeah.
house, right? I'm interested in that market, and that's probably our next venue. Airbnbs, I think, work well if you understand your marketplace and are pretty confident that the government's not going to change the laws and you're going to be kicked out. Um, and so it's in the area. If I were to do that kind of rental, I would do it close to home because I want to make sure that if anything goes wrong and my cleaning company can't make it, and I can be there to take care of it, right? Um,
Yeah.
and and this in the market I'm in, they're closing down more than they're opening up the ability to do Airbnbs.
Sure.
You know, I don't want a neighbor who comes in every month or every week. I want a neighbor who's there. And I'm going
Right.
to go to my city hall and complain, and I live there. I'm probably going to win. So yeah, I don't do them, but they can be very profitable. I know many of my real estate investor friends are in that market space.
Yeah, there's this interesting company that I heard of called Pad Split. I
Mhm.
don't have any personal experience with it, but I went to an event. The gentleman was talking about Pad Split, talking about how his returns compared to uh, uh, long-term rentals was just so much greater because he was able to have more cash flow coming in by giving up the home. And I was so intrigued to this. I was like, well, what's the downside? He's like, well, we haven't lost any money on any of the pad splits. I was like, wow, what a great idea. And so, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, I'm a newer real estate entrepreneur, newer real estate investor. When I get some deeds in my name or in an LLC that I own, do I want to go short term? Do I want to go mid term? Do I want to go long term? Airbnb, pad split. So there's all these different options.
So the
And
pad split, like, if I can
go
just
ahead.
say, is really shared housing, and that
Hmm.
is not a short-term gain, right? I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's short-term and there could be 6-month renters, but it's not weekly or monthly. It really is a longer term that people stay for. So
Yeah.
it's and that would be something that's one of the reasons I got interested in looking at it at all was I heard about pad split and looked into it. I don't think I would use them. I would do it on my own just because of the
Okay.
number of properties, but I think it's a great opportunity for people to increase their income on a single family home.
You mentioned partnering with a general contractor. That's a great connection to have. So talk about, fanatical networking and making that connection. How did that connection come about? I think there's a lot of people who do flips, do rehabs, who would love to have a partner that's a GC.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah. So, um, in my case, my GC is one of my partners. They were to begin with, so it wasn't a new partner, but I
Okay.
do partner across the United States with people for different things. So most of the time it's equity partnerships, but we've partnered with GCs where they do the job and we pay them for the materials, but their payment is really in the equity in the house when we sell it, right?
Yeah.
And you meet people like that by going to networks. You go to online networks and networks in person. I love in person. In the case of partnering with a GC, it really is going to the place that that contractors are, meeting with them and building a relationship, and then building the trust that they know that you know what you're doing and they know what they're doing, and they're going to actually sell and make a profit at the end. So many contractors don't understand that they can actually make money in real estate, not just in the build,
Yeah.
right? So when you teach them how to do it, it builds for good partnerships.
I spoke with a gentleman in Minnesota. I've said this story before on the podcast that he was a builder, ended up building hospitals in Minnesota, and somewhere along the way realized that he could be the investor himself. And I just was totally blown away by the growth, and it was really inspiring. Talk about going from effectively being a tradesman to now building and brokering or owning hospitals is mind-blowing growth in one lifespan. And so to your point, people who are the builders, I think, are the perfect real estate investors because in many cases, if, for instance, if they're giving a quote to somebody and they realize, well, in order to fix the home, it's going to be X expensive, they can make a cash offer on the home themselves and either buy it or assign that deal.
Yeah. They can also work with the people who want the work done if they're planning on staying there for a little bit um, and getting a piece of the equity at the pie, right? There's so many ways to make money in real estate without moving forward and having to worry about all the trash tenants and toilets. So,
Yeah. Now, without giving away all the game, Andrea, pivoting a bit here, investing in New Jersey. I'm in Texas. I'm originally from New Jersey. We talked about that. I miss the food. I miss the food. I miss the people. I miss talking with my hands. I really can't do that so much here. But you're bringing it out of me. You're bringing it out of me. So, in New Jersey, I'm thinking about the real estate space. Of course, it's a higher entry point just to get into the real estate investing. What is your buy box currently? When you're looking for deals, what are you looking for?
okay. So I don't buy in New Jersey.
Okay.
My buy box is in Middle America, where they are landlord friendly, not tenant friendly, or they're at least agnostic to either side of the coin. The taxes are lower, the price points are lower. Um, so I have properties up and down the East Coast, and every state I have property in, I have a partner who actually lives in that state and understands the rules and the laws of that state. When I say I, of course, I'm talking about our partnership of four partners with people across the country. And many times we partner with them to um, teach them how to do it right. So we
Yeah.
may partner on, a couple of units in one area, but they learn the business, they learn how to do it, and then they can go out on their own if they don't want to continue to work with us. But they're our backbone partner to make sure that we're doing things right in the areas that we're in, because every area is different.
Yeah, I believe, partnering with people is the way to get in for folks who might not have the knowledge or the capital. When I was doing what I would call the preliminary work to even figure out if I could become a real estate person, I was selling cars at the time, and I had no idea anything about anything. So in Texas, we have kind of a unique real estate situation because we've got mineral rights and we've got ranches, and we kind of have this sense that Texas is its own thing. You know, it was its own country at one point. So it was all confusing to me, and I was just selling cars, working for a Nissan dealership, trying to be like, can I be a real estate person? And much like yourself, I believe I was looking at it from how many people can I meet, how much networking can I do, and ultimately through that networking, I ended up getting a job, a W-2 job, working for a wholesale company. Ultimately, through that networking, I ended up meeting a real estate investor who ended up becoming my friend and a mentor to me. And honestly, networking has been like the root of everything. At this point, if I have a problem and I can't solve it, I'm like, it's not that I'm, unable to work through this problem. It's that I don't know the people who can help me solve this.
And your network knows the person. If you have a big enough network, I am a big believer in networking. That's what I do for my business. I network around the country and build relationships with people. And that's how we end up with partnerships all over the place, right? That's how we find some money. Um,
Yeah.
it's amazing what's available if you put yourself out there and tell people this is what I do and get to know them and make sure that they know and like you as well, right?
Let's dive into that on Andrea. Networking, this is my approach to it. I'm very curious to hear yours because I talk to some people, and it's kind of remarkable because everyone's got a different approach, and some people don't even really have much of an approach. This just kind of they're winging it. For me, I try to go to networking events. I do that fairly regularly, probably more than most people. I go to about 2 a week. I have this podcast. I have my own podcast outside of here. And then I'm also constantly on Zoom calls with people or on the phone with people. And I'll book out my calendar and I try to have it every day, Monday through Saturday. It just looks like the day's been booked out for me. So that's kind of my proactive approach to networking. What's your approach?
So it actually is similar to yours, right? I go to this week, I actually have 4 in-person real estate events 4 nights in a row. So I go to real estate events. I belong to networks that network in the morning because that's what works best for me. So I belong to 4 morning network um, groups that I join every week. The key is being there consistently. I don't
Yeah.
care which one. Go once a month, but go all the time so people get to know you and you get to know the people. Um, but those are the groups that I go to all the time. And then I have, one-off groups that I go to. I am the vice president of my local RIA chapter. I ran a RIA online for 5 years. Once COVID came, I was running an in-person one and then I went online. So, it's the lifeblood of what helps people grow in this business. Your network is so important.
I love Rios. That's what started my whole journey. I had no idea where to start. I think it was at a hotel somewhere in San Antonio, Texas. And then it ended up, I paid a bunch of money to get to a conference. It was really a lot of money for me at the time. When I was at that conference, I was just faking it to make it. I had no idea about anything, Andrea. And then here I am 2 years later, 20 plus deals under my belt, a real estate license, and I feel like I'm entrenched in this game here. And so it's really remarkable what RIAs do. You've probably launched countless careers with
I did. I
what you've
did.
done.
My goal every 2 years is to build 100 people to the millionaire status in real estate. So that's my goal. Every 2 years, it's reset and I work on the next 100 people.
That's
So.
phenomenal. Andrea, we are coming up on time here. Where can folks go to get a hold of you?
So LinkedIn would be probably the easiest place. I'm Andrea Lane, the Fearless Real Estate Investor. You can reach me at thefearlessrealestateinvestor@gmail.com, or you can text me at 732-735-9076.
Thank you so much for hopping on here, for talking with us about investing and how you scaled in your career and networking. And thanks for hopping on here.
And thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.